The whole web design part is that we explain why we don't do templates. Because the template is the complete wrong beginning on how to do a design, in our opinion, because form follows content. So therefore, you should have an idea what you want to achieve. And you know that you maybe have a service that needs a lot of trust. Because, I don't know, there are like many bad providers or many bad services in your area. And so there you have a template which is focused on one way of doing things. And you have the form first, and then you put in the content instead of having the content and having the form follow it. And every design has to have a reason to exist, every element. And then in the template you have something that might look fancy and where you can, with like, I don't know, a few bucks for a theme or a template, and you can just put in all of your stuff and it looks actually pretty good, but it's not gonna work.
Welcome to another episode of From Startup to Wunderbrand with Nicholas Kuhner. It's always good having people from international markets, and today we've got Fábio Lichtler, and he gets straight to the point. He's from Switzerland, by the way, as you can see, very Swiss-looking guy. Because only the Swiss would have Fabio, an Italian first name and a German surname. The Germans love that kind of thing. If your website isn't bringing you in the right clients, you need to speak to Fabio. It's costing you money. As a co-founder of Winno, he helps businesses show up online the way they should, with a site that looks sharp, reads well, and actually converts. Forget traffic. Fabio's focus is on fixing the site first, because when your digital storefront matches the quality of what you offer, leads start coming in and the right clients start paying attention. And now, instead of using Google Translate, we're just going to go after the German, which is Fábio Lichtler macht kurzen Prozess. Wenn deine Website keine Kunden bringt, verlierst du Geld. Als Mitgründer von Winno sorgt er dafür, dass dein Online-Auftritt endlich zu dem passt, was du wirklich anbietest. See, I'm going on the fly here. Mit einer Website, die professionell aussieht, die richtigen Leute anspricht und verkaufe. I'm going to cut this out. Let's just go into the next section. I practiced a bit, but my German just isn't good enough. Okay.
But it's good.
All of the intonation and timing is out on that. So I apologize very deeply to any people who understand German. So after that introduction, Fabio, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Now I'm going to do it in Norwegian. No, I'm just joking. I won't go do all the languages I can. So you specialize in websites, and what I really loved about your offer there is that traffic comes second. First, we need to fix a website. And there's a term which is called vanity numbers, which means when you're looking to get as much traffic, as much likes, as much activity like that as possible, but it actually doesn't drive any value for your business. What is your thinking on that, and how do you start a process out with clients who come to you with a substandard website?
That's a very, very good question. So in my experience, there are like 3-4 questions that must be answered in the first second with a few words, and also supported by some kind of visual, if it's like a graphics, illustration, animation, whatever. And the questions which must be answered are: what's the offer? Who's the audience, or who's the target audience? What problem is solved? And what are the USPs? And like, it's not always the same, because sometimes based on what the offer is, the problem that it solves is already given, like with, I don't know, a painter or whatever, someone who does some work, but like then you can highlight the USPs, the target region, whatever. And that's a point I see where like 90% of businesses fail to communicate those points. And in my experience, conversion rate can be like double, tripled, or even more by only fixing this, not doing any technical stuff, no design, even though there might be many more possibilities. Answering those questions right at the beginning has a huge impact.
And do you see a lot of companies who don't get that right?
Many, like over 90% don't get it. They start with some kind of phrases from, I don't know, Henry Ford or welcome on my website and stuff like this. Really, companies, 50 employees who fail to communicate the offer, or they communicate in a way where they think they're communicating what they offer, but it's only for specialists, and maybe their audience is not so specialized, or they could reach a whole new audience without being talking like such a complicated way. And this is a huge experience I made, where bringing things straight to the point, leaving out all the SEO stuff, that's a whole other thing, but just communicating your offer properly gives the visitor, he knows what's in for me. Because why would I keep scrolling? Why would I keep exploring the website if I don't get what's in for me?
And these are the same people who do Google ad campaigns and SEO campaigns and wonder why the money that they're spending isn't converting clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, people literally burn money in ads with bringing traffic to a website that cannot even convert, where the bottleneck is the website. And this is also something where I think the website should be always seen as a whole and as a really important part of the whole lead generation in most cases, or whatever they do, selling products. But in this whole process, you need to understand, like, from even meta description, title tags, which are shown on Google or display or whatever ad text, ad copy that is on the ads, up until the conversion point. And this whole part is like all the website's fault or the website's reason why people convert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always talk to folks when I'm doing website design and setup that each page on your website has to, there's got to be a reason for each page on your website. When a lot of people are starting with templates, so they take whatever template they can get online and they try and apply or what they call shoehorn their content into it, when it's not necessarily the right process or the right steps for them. They might not know if they are taking people, is this website just to give information? Is it for a comparison website? So once people know a little bit more about your business, they want to see your products and services versus a competitor. There's quite a lot of reasons behind having a website, and a lot of people don't do that. So it sounds like you don't just focus on SEO and the technical stuff. You do that, but tell me what sort of differentiates you from other web and SEO businesses out there.
We have a really holistic approach in the whole web design SEO stuff. Like, a big issue we see on the market is that there are like web design agencies who say, yeah, we do SEO as well. And in the end, it's like installing, I don't know, an SEO plugin and think it's done with that. Or they set up some kind of analysis tool and think now they can charge on a monthly base. It's like there's so much that is done like even wrong, or it's really, really bad practice. And where we say, no, our goal is that our clients really understand what we are doing and why we are doing. And that when they start doing, like, for example, the website with us, and we show them a whole concept, it's not that they just sign it off, that they really understand why we are doing things. And SEO as well, I explain them how do we do the research and why we do this, because in my opinion, the client should at least understand what we are doing and not think it's some kind of mysterious stuff we are thinking of, oh yeah, we're hacking the Google algorithm or stuff. It's just, I think transparency is a really, really important thing, where we try to keep going, always keep following the path of communicating with the client, telling him what's going well, but also what's not going well, because I mean, no rankings, no traffic curve is only going up. And in a call, we sit together, it's a video call, and then we show live results and we go into our tools. And that's on the SEO part, where we think it's really important to be transparent. And on the other side, the whole web design part is that we explain why we don't do templates. Because like, the template is like the complete wrong beginning on how to do a design, in our opinion, because form follows content. So therefore, you should have an idea what you want to achieve. And you know that you maybe have a service that needs a lot of trust. because I don't know, there are like many bad providers in your, or many bad services in your area. And so you need a lot more trust. And then there are like other topics or other things that must be explained a lot more, but in this niche, there's no issue with trust. And so therefore you need a whole different build up of the website and guide the visitor in a whole different way. And so there you have a template which is focused on one way of doing things, and you have the form first, and then you put in the content instead of having the content and having the form follow it. Every design has to have a reason to exist, every element, and then in the template you have something that might look fancy and where you can, with like, I don't know, a few bucks for a theme or a template, and you can just put in all of your stuff and it looks actually pretty good, but it's not going to work. It's never going to work the way it could with a really custom tailored website that fits your needs and that takes you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, you cover such important points there. And you're talking about customer journey as well, which is, again, making sure that each page follows some step in the customer journey. And people get stuck in the trap of looking at beautiful templates. Oh, look at this nice template, and trying to fit all of their content into it. I've made that mistake, and it takes you double the time. You lose money. You've got to start all over again, and it's just a pain in the butt. So it's very good that you mentioned that. But let's go now into a little bit of SEO, because SEO is changing quite a lot with all of this AI stuff going on. Every single platform that you go onto now says, hey, we've got an AI offering, or use our AI bot, or use our AI this, that, the next thing. There's also voice search, which I think people don't necessarily understand how that works and how you can take advantage of it. So SEO in this age of AI and voice search, how are you preparing for it?
It's a very good question. It's a topic.
I know, you wrote it.
Yeah. No. Oh, really? Okay. No, but it's really it's an important thing, because people are getting worried that but my website has to show up in AI, and what if it doesn't, and how do I prepare for that? And is all the money I spent on SEO gonna be lost in a few weeks or months or years? And what I experienced by now is that in the end, a ChatGPT or whichever search engine you use, how do they want to know which are the best results for a specific search query? So why wouldn't they rely on an algorithm that has been developed over 30, 40 years, like the one from Google, which is extremely good for search results? Why wouldn't they at least scrape the first page of Google search results and use those information? Because they are already verified by the Google algorithm. And that's exactly what we see. Because when we track our customers' traffic sources, you really get in, you see where do they come from? They come from Google, some come from Bing, social media, ad campaigns, direct entries. And you also have ChatGPT. And that's because ChatGPT, okay, they mainly use also Bing, but SEO is SEO, and providing good content is the same thing basically. And what you can do in addition, what we like to do is submitting our sitemaps also to the Bing Webmaster Tools. That's like the same as the Google Search Console for Bing, and submitting it there and having our content really laid out in a customer focus brings the best results. This is for the technical part. On the other side, you have to differentiate the different kinds of searches people do. Like in the Google or in the SEO language, it's called the informational search intent, where people are just gathering information. They have no intent of doing anything. They have the transactional, the navigational, and the commercial, where the transactional, they really want to perform an action, which could be download or buy or whatever, where the commercial is really focused on a money thing, and navigational where they're looking for something specific. And I don't know how other people see this, but in my experience, people are only checking informational stuff on BT. And if I'm gonna buy, I don't know, a new pair of shoes, the least people would go on BT and say, yes, give me a link for that. They all would go on Google or directly on their favorite page, Amazon, whatever. And so I don't think that, especially for those really interesting keywords where there's already a buyer's intent, there I don't see big danger for this whole ChatGPT or AI thing. But in the end, if they buy, and even if they would start looking up things on PT, in the end, they would still buy it on an online store, and they would have to go there somehow. And still, the AI is looking for the best websites and indexing those in their SERPs, which I find on Google. So I think there is not like a big danger for that, or that's like SEO is not going to exist anymore, but it's not going to exist the same way. And it never did. Like it always was a change. There are always different aspects that became more and others that lost, and some practices that worked and now don't work anymore. But in the end, if you really focus on value for the customer, that's where you get the furthest.
Yeah, you mentioned SERPs, just to clarify that search engine result page for folks who are not technical. But the other aspect that you mentioned is Bing and Microsoft. I think it's definitely picking up pace. More and more people are looking at Bing and saying, well, we need to be more visible on Bing, especially since Copilot is getting stronger and is integrated into all their search. And they are now starting to trial adverts in Copilot. So you can now make sure that your page comes up or your product comes up on Copilot. So I think in order to make money, these GPTs or these AI models are now going to start offering ads and trying to send you directly to pages. So I think that's definitely something that's going to happen in the future. Whether people totally go for it. When it comes to Bing, have you seen a difference between results on Bing and results on Google for clients?
Yes, absolutely. We're not really experienced with anything like Bing SEO related, because market share is almost non-existent. They lay out things a bit different than Google, but still there are like markets where it's extremely interesting to rank on Bing as well. We also know that people are just copying the Google ads and then putting them on Bing as well. But so running specific, I don't know, SEO campaigns just to rank better on Bing, I don't know. I've never had the request for that. And if someone came to us and would be like, yeah, we need to rank higher on Bing, I would say, okay, let me do some research. And if I think we can cover that, we do.
Yeah.
And if we say we can't, then I say we just can't do it, because there's no point in trying to deliver something I cannot. Yeah. So I think that's also a really important thing, that you're really transparent with your customers. I can say, look, I can provide best Google SEO. In our experience, it's the same that works for Bing.
Yeah, it's an interesting space. I've recently done a little bit of work on Bing, and I now rank first on Bing with my particular searches versus on Google, where I come a little further down. So if you put a little bit of attention onto Bing, you can actually get good results. Whether anyone's going to see it is going to be another thing. But let's look now at the difference, and we're talking about differences here. Let's maybe talk about the differences between being a Swiss SEO and website company and an American company. What big differences do you think there are? If somebody had to come out of America and be dropped into Switzerland, what kind of challenges are they going to find if they are going to start an agency or work in your market? And what value are you adding that an American business, for example, couldn't do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think the biggest point is understanding people, life, and culture here in Switzerland, and different terms that are used, even because it's not only because it's German, but also because, I mean, German SEO agencies deliver on Swiss market, but it's not the same, because they have different expressions, they have different kind of vocabulary, and some wrong German words that Swiss people use have a real search volume, and that has an impact. And if it's Google ads or if it's SEO, you need to understand people here, and they don't like, a lot of the American marketing style. I don't know, there's really bold claims and they sound so scammy here. People don't like it, people don't buy it. And that's why, I don't know, like this, let's say Alex Hormozy style or whatever of marketing, it doesn't work here. And people don't like to fill out forms, and people don't like to sign up for some kind of sketchy stuff just to get something for free. Of course, it also works, but it works in a different way, and trust is gained in another way. And therefore, in my experience, you really need to understand not only Europe, but especially also Swiss market if you want, especially if you're going into a very competitive area, you really need to understand how people here think and live and also search on Google.
I think that's such an important point. I'd recommend that folks go and have a look at your website, because it's quite a cool website. There are a whole bunch of videos. There are a whole bunch of recommendations from customers. And again, not the hard sell that a lot of our American website companies have. So where can I send folks to find out a little bit more information about Winno?
You can check out our website. I'm trying to be a lot more active on Instagram, but especially my LinkedIn is where I'm the most active. Unfortunately, all content is in German, but I think Translate helps out there a lot. Our new website, we're in the middle of rebranding, is going to be also available in English, at least very soon. And then also for the international market could be interesting.
Yeah, because it translated it into English for me. And I must say, that's why you need to have, and this is for anyone building international websites, you can't just trust Google Translate to translate your websites for you, because
Definitely.
I mean, I don't understand hardly anything of what it says in English here. It's quite strange. What you on the following pages not expect are meter-long texts. So I can understand and read it, but yeah, it's obviously for a German market, and very important that you make sure that people are translating for the different countries they're in. And especially as you mentioned that Swiss German is different to regular German, that can really put people off your website if they can see immediately, this is not for me. This is not a website for me. So the website is winno.ch, and I'll drop a link in the description for people to go and have a look at your website and find your LinkedIn page. So we hope, if you're trying to get some American work or international work, that people come and check out your website.
Always open. Always open.
Great. Well, Fabio, thank you so much for your insights tonight, and look forward to chatting again.
Thank you very much, Nicholas.
I really do appreciate your comments, so why not go and watch this live on YouTube, or go to my website, kuhne.no, that's kuhne.no, for more information.